I think three things that I wish more young people especially thought about when it comes to work and the good life. First, and a lot of philosophy professors are guilty of this, you very well might hear from your professors or for people who have already kind of like made it in life that you just shouldn't worry about work, that it shouldn't be that high of a priority for you, that it's silly to care so much about getting a job. That's nonsense. It's very easy for somebody who's already like well established in their job and feels really secure in their job to tell folks like you not to worry about it. But that's because we're already on the other side of what is a tremendously impactful, important part of living a good life. Your job is how you provide for a bunch of your other dreams. It's how you provide for your family. It gives you a very strong sense of identity and meaning. You're going to spend a lot of your time doing it. It is a great thing to spend a lot of time worried about and to do philosophy over. And so if anybody tells you not to worry, you should push back on that. But there are two things that we also tend to tell ourselves, especially in American culture, about work that I think also probably deserve some more philosophical criticism. There are plenty of people who have white-collar jobs, really good, fulfilling, good by society standards, fulfilling external careers, where their work is like their religion. Their work is their everything. They spend every minute. I know a lot of professors who are like this, who wake up in the morning and the first thing they think about is their research and their teaching, and when they go to bed at night, it's the last thing that they think about. When they couldn't go to conferences or everything got really disrupted in the pandemic, it felt as though their entire world had ended because it was the thing that they felt gave them purpose and meaning in life and they couldn't do it anymore. That's a mistake. Work is important to the good life, but it can easily become overblown, and that's probably a risk that we're playing with right now. Ben shared with me this Pew Research survey that we might talk about a little bit later in this session, but right before this, a survey about just like how much people enjoy being with their coworkers and like hard work right now, and those are all great things. But if that's your everything, I feel bad because that means that someday when you retire from that job, you're going to have nothing left, and that's like it's misplaced to look for all of your deepest human needs to come from just this one aspect of life that can sometimes also be really contingent, can depend on the economy, can depend on things that are utterly outside your control. The third point that I wish, more folks talked about when it comes to the philosophy of work is that even if work shouldn't be your everything, it also shouldn't be nothing to you. Like, it shouldn't be the case that you think you've got this sharp division between work and the rest of your life, and the rest of your life is where you do morally significant things and where you have morally important relationships, and work, you just show up and you grind it out and get that paycheck. Your life is not separable in those ways. And I think that we oftentimes, when we give people, especially young people, advice about finding a good job or being happy at work or being happy when they have to work, we give that advice in really individualistic terms. You're like, you have this thought that like your work is designed to make you happy. Your work is designed to give you the right schedule and the right money so that you can fulfill your other dreams in life. And that's maybe a little part of what work does for you, but most of work is working for other people. You have a job because people are depending on you to do something. That carries some pretty heavy obligations to it, obligations to the people that you work with. Someday you'll be somebody's boss and you're going to have pretty significant moral obligations to them as well. You might have some extraordinary responsibilities in your job that if you don't do well, other people's lives are going to go poorly as a result. And I think sometimes we also don't honor the significance, the moral significance of what we do when we go to our jobs. And I think a lot of jobs are designed nowadays so that people can't even tell themselves the story about what they're doing is morally significant. Ben, you talked about like the dirty jobs. The Sullivans are a dirty job kind of family, or like we're blue collar. My family's background is more blue collar. And I think one of the things that's nice about some of these more blue-collar jobs is you really do feel the significance of what you're doing when you show up that day because it's like really direct. Whereas if you're like a coder or you're working on computer programming for some like accounting software, you're not even sure what the accounting software does, you might quickly start to become detached from reality that they're like human beings that are affected by your job, and that can be a moral crisis of its own.